kind of why do you want to join the Republican Party? So we touched on the issues. We touched on the taxes, the government control, just everything, so that people understand what we fight for. And Republicans are the ones that have the solutions. We absolutely have solutions, but we don't have enough elected officials to be able to show our solution to the table, because up there at legislation, they just cut us off, shut us down.
Right.
That is the truth, absolutely.
We have no power. We have no power.
But the educational, and shout out to John Block, Representative Block. He was at the CCIA, that's a Coalition of Conservatives in Action, last Thursday, and he gave a great presentation. He's got that Pinon Post, which has the best stuff on New Mexico's legislative issues and politics. And if we could just get a few more like him, would be good.
right.
And they're there. But we have to work hard as Republicans and get them elected. But thank you for doing that. I didn't know about that Teletown Hill. I'm just very impressed.
It's fun. We already have another one scheduled.
Ah,
So,
super.
yes, so try to keep that going and give everybody a home. That's if we want to have more voters, that's fine. I want everybody to vote in the state, but you need to educate yourself on what you're voting on. And right here in Donna Ana is just a perfect example.
So we've had that jump in Republican registration. That's crazy to me. I wonder what's going on with that. I think it's the crime. We've been dealing with some pretty crazy crime stuff around here lately. The Young Park shooting, Officer Hernandez. I think people are just like, you know what? They see nationally what's going on. And we don't really have any Republican cities. And very small amount of metropolitan cities are Republican, right? The vast majority of them are blue, right?
Well, I'm going to give you some more stats here. So the city of Las Cruces, the city of Albuquerque, and the city of Santa Fe have a 60% voter turnout rate. So that's our major metropolitans. Rural, everything else is considered rural in the state,
Right.
have 50% voter turnout. Now, where's the problem with that?
That's
Of course,
interesting.
that's the reason why that they're ruling our state. That's why our rural people need to turn out and vote. Our churches, 50% of church attendees are registered to vote, and only 25% of them vote.
I've seen different numbers on that. I just know it's low, but I've seen like different numbers. Like recently I saw that 60% of people that attend church vote, but I'm like, that's not what I've...
No,
It's not.
lower
It's
than
not,
that.
right? Yeah.
So
The churches are hard to get into. I've been having debates on social media
They're
about...
still fearful, aren't they?
Well, you know what? Here's the thing, guys, and this I'm controversial thing for me to say, but the churches have been influenced by... Who knows what they're influenced by, but they don't like MAGA. They don't like Trump. And they really discourage people going out and vote and get involved in politics. And that's the argument I'm having right now with someone that's a pretty big church influencer here in the local community here in southern New Mexico. And his debate is like, well, we don't want our church getting involved politically because we're of the mindset, and I get it, that we got to put God first before anything else.
do you know in the Bible, it even has politics?
Right.
Right. And so don't forget about the taxes you have to pay per the Bible. And right.
Give to Caesar.
And don't forget, and the names have just lost me, but inside the Bible, they had their own, I don't want to say election, but their promotion of those who should lead their communities too in the Bible. So this is already the direction for that, but you need to come over to Alamogordo. We don't have that problem now.
Well, I'm actually having an argument with someone from Alamogordo.
Is that right?
Oh, you have to tell me who. And
You know who it is, too. You know who it is.
We're not going to mention on air, though.
So,
Because, I always have to ask.
Ironic thing is I grew up with this guy. I grew up with him.
but so look at why the churches, why the churches are afraid to speak is because of their 501c3 status.
Right,
And
right,
the
right.
government has that thumb, again, control over them by that. But I went to the RNC, went to a great faith-based meeting purposely, and there were some court cases that came across that we have won, the RNC has won, to support churches to be able
Yeah,
to
I saw
support
that.
candidates.
That was recently, right?
Yes, so we put together a packet for churches on what it's okay to say during a church service and what it's not. That'll put your
Wow.
501c3
That's powerful.
and so printed even the court cases out. So that pastor can reference it themselves and determine themselves what they want to say. But basically, you can say that you're supporting Zeke for office because he is pro-life, and then reference a verse in the Bible, and you're clear.
They align with the values of the
That's-
church, right?
that's right.
That's super cool. I didn't know that.
Yep. So I'm glad that we had that packet out, and I know that it's making some. They actually had a huge pastors meeting in Albuquerque, and the pastor handed out those packets. I was pretty proud that was distributed that way.
That's super cool. I mean, so I think like the Catholic Church, I'm Catholic, but I don't have too much faith that they're going to be getting involved with politics because they're beholden to the Vatican and other hardcore hierarchical stuff. I think it's going to be more the local churches, like the locally owned, like they have a little bit more control that are going to be able to participate in those types of programs.
And it can be, but I have to say, okay, you know, I go to St. Genevieve's Church.
I do, you know that.
And there is one of our priests there, and I'm gonna mention him, Father Mike. He is very good about always speaking of the preborn. He is unafraid.
He's very pro-life.
I know he's a conservative. I can say that about him. So I think we're getting there, and
That's
this
cool.
is such a great tool because they can use it now. Now they can have something. They shouldn't be afraid of getting in trouble because they've got the legal backing now.
That's right.
You know, and it's terrible that we even had to do that. You know, I don't like that fact.
It is, but that
thank
goes
you.
more towards this whole government control. So you can either start with the indoctrination of universal child care, or you can start with the handouts of government dependency, whatever it is, government
I
control.
love that you said that. That's exactly right. Well, so like the churches are one thing, and we can go on and on about that, and maybe we can come back to it. But
That's a whole show,
since
buddy.
I have this, we have this kind of topic of people not voting going.
Yes.
You know, the NRA guys. That's another big demographic that just doesn't vote either, right? Do you know the numbers on that? I think it's like 40% of them, 60% of them don't vote.
In the local elections, for sure.
Right.
And so who dictates your local gun laws? Who decides whether you can open carry or not?
I don't know.
It is your city, your
city-
municipality.
city council?
They can
City
say you can't have a gun at the park.
No way.
They have that ability. They can say you can't. Well, they already say you can't have a gun in the city buildings.
I thought that was gubernatorial for some reason.
That no.
That's what I
Or
would think. It was state
governor.
legislation.
So when don't forget when the governor put that on city of Albuquerque,
Yeah.
she did that through Mel Keller.
Oh,
Yes.
they were in communication, and then
Yes,
he
so it
implemented.
was that. So that is how that happens. Locals decide your local rules.
Wow. Okay,
So
so
if you have
learn
a
something every
crime,
day.
if you want to go walk, if you're a walker, and there's homeless people in the street, when you go walk, your city decides whether you can carry a gun or not. And in some cases,
It doesn't hit you until you hear it.
and your sheriff. I mean, your sheriff here in town. I mean, there for a while, she was enforcing where you couldn't even have a gun in your car. Was that like 2
That
years
seems
ago?
unconstitutional.
Right. You know, so I was thinking, well, do I take my gun out before I go to Las Cruces? What
It's
if
your
I get pulled
castle.
over? It is.
Right.
It is.
You can't do that.
Right.
But anyway, there's a bunch of cockamamie stuff going on here in Doñana.
That's local.
And that's probably why a lot of people are going Republican, because we see the corruption, we see the horrible policies in action here, and we're just like, we're over it. And all that people really know to do naturally is like, well, I'm just going to register Republican, and then they're kind of just like left from there. It seems like they got to kind of take it upon. I get every day, especially, who do I vote for, Zeke? Who do I vote for, Zeke? People just don't. They care, but they just aren't involved. They don't know.
They don't know. And I want to share also with you. I've been back about 3 years, a little bit over 3 years. I was living in Arizona 30 plus years before, but born and raised here. And when I got here, a lot of reconnecting with my friends, they were still Democrats, registered Democrats, but they were as conservative, maybe in some cases even more conservative, if you can believe that, than me.
That makes sense.
But one of the reasons that was given that kind of made sense in a way, well, the reason I don't really change is because we don't have Republicans to vote for. And I think even just in the last 3 years that I've been, I mean, look at this particular race. We have, 2 school board members who are Republicans and that are running, I mean, I should say candidates.
Definitely seen a
I'm
ramp
hoping,
up in-
hey, maybe the fact that I said their members are going to be elected, huh? And then also we have the 2 city council candidates that are Republicans well. So I'm hopeful, and I remain hopeful. So thank you for all the work that you've done, because I know some of, you can get credit to yourself, absolutely.
And I want to educate you about ranked choice voting.
Oh, Lord. Are you going to try it? You're going to do this?
Okay.
So just so you know,
Ranked choice voting sucks.
Yes, it
Amy,
does.
the chairwoman is super smart. She's like got a photographic memory. So let's hear this out.
Okay, so let's see. I was actually going to bring a little chart and I forgot it.
Next time, Amy.
Next time.
I'm gonna make a clip out of this one.
So you have Republicans on the ballot, you have Democrats, and they say choose 4 out of your district, and you rank them with a number 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Okay. So what happens if you only rank the Republicans?
I don't know.
The numbers of those Republicans gain, and the numbers of the Democrats don't. Okay.
Okay.
Now, why is that important? because the Democrats are going to rank 1, 2, 3, 4. So everybody's numbers are going out this way. We have to elevate the Republicans only by voting Republican only.
Thank
Really?
you.
You
I've been
said that?
trying to make
Really?
that
I
argument.
really said that.
And nobody could ever explain that as well as you
so,
did.
So I'm
Thank
sorry
you.
I'm using my little hands as a graph here.
Okay,
but,
Wow.
but yes.
I can't believe we're doing this right now. This is crazy.
This is a reason why you don't want to give that number to the Democrat. They're going to get their numbers. We're already outnumbered in Donana County. We're already outnumbered, so just vote for the Republican.
Golly, I love this woman. And she's married. I'm just saying. It's platonic. It's Republican love.
Yeah, but I mean that is
I've
how
always
Alaska.
wondered that 'cause I thought if you live, why do you want to give that vote to them eventually if they just
Yeah,
keep
'cause-
cutting
Yes.
down?
Sarah Palin got jacked. I'm going to interrupt, but
No, I'm-
Yes, that's what I was going to. Alaska. So Alaska is completely ranked choice. Do you know that their state chair doesn't even teach them about the candidates? They teach them about ranked choice voting, what the strategy is, and how to win.
it's like one and done, right? Isn't that the saying?
That's what you're good. Yes, you're going to vote for the Republicans and be done.
Holy
and that's how they
smokes.
flip. That's how they're flipping it.
Wow.
So
Okay.
okay, now let's go to the semi-open primaries. This is something else, another step to make New Mexico lose forever. Now, I don't disagree with independents being able to vote in the primary. I totally agree. I don't like the process. Walk in the door and choose whatever ballot you want. You know, I can't.
That's weird, huh?
I'm not a Moose member. I can't vote at the Moose. I am an Elks member, and I can vote at the Elks. Right.
Right.
So join the club.
Pick a team, buddy.
Pick a team
Yeah.
and let's vote. Let's vote and let's get the best candidate out there.
Well, they changed a lot, and so how is it now? In Arizona, you're an independent. You go in there and you pick your ballot. You tell them Republican.
That's what
So that's
New
what it
Mexico.
changed to now.
So when we next year we go into elections for the pre-primary in June, the independents or the kind of states can say I want a Democrat ballot or a Republican ballot, but we as Republicans can only get a Republican ballot. Democrats can only get a Democrat ballot. That's being I think it's going to be used against us.
Oh, for sure.
Changing parties
don't like it.
and choosing our worst candidate and stuff. But
That's right. That's right.
we just gotta.
We've already seen that.
Yes. So I think, but I'm elevating the party.
You are.
I'm the party has become. I'm a blue collar worker. I'm not this. I'm the first state chairwoman or man that has not been a gazillionaire.
Right.
Wow.
I'm blue collar. I run my own trucks. I do my own bookkeeping. I pay my own taxes.
You're rich in freedom. You're rich in freedom.
You're a true Republican.
So that's really making a difference as people see that I'm one of everybody else supporting New Mexicans trying to make it better. And doing that is unifying everybody. And what I mean by that, we have all these groups wanting to fight for New Mexico being great. And all these groups have the same purposes, reasons, all that. But yet we work in competition. And I don't even understand the competition side of it. We all need to team up and work together. So we have in some of our groups right now, because we're all doing the same thing. Some of our groups that we have are targeting new registration. Some are targeting bringing people over and all that. And then we come together, say, okay, this is what we've done this week. This is who we've registered. This is what we've done. Okay, this is what this team has done. This is, we all are working for the same goal, but we're not competing. And that is really important to me that we join everybody together. And it's where I call us 80% united. And I say 80% because, I presented the one rules package, and then after that, the state corporation commission, the state central committee, who are my bosses, they convene their own meeting too to do some rules changes because we know that we have to elevate the party. This isn't just a New Mexico movement. This is a national movement to elevate the party, to make sure that we can get better candidates. Yes, I accept the grassroots. I think grassroots candidate is the best candidate, actually. But we all know that money wins elections.
Yeah, you got to have money to win an election, guys. That's just it.
It just is. So that's what I say. We elevate them so that we make sure that we get the best candidate and put the money behind that candidate and then win elections. But right now, the way that it looks is we just hodgepodge candidates into the Halloween bowl, and you just kind of pick what you get.
I've seen that. I've seen that. We're dealing with that right now.
We are.
Yeah.
We really are. And so
It's not that easy, guys.
we want to become a party where people trust, where they come to you and ask you who to vote for, that the entire state says, wow, the Republicans have this candidate. This is what they're going to do. We need to vote Republican. And so elevating and getting that out is working. The unity of all of these organizations, I believe, is making that momentum because it's reaching out even to Turning Point. Look at their numbers grow. Look at the numbers grow for Turning Point. And then did you see that video that I shared on Facebook that happened in UNM? They were promoting that football player. I can't remember his name. They had that event Friday night, and they had flyers on a table giving out pins and all that, and some masked lady came up and was cussing in this kid's ear, calling him names, saying words I can't say on here.
You could.
It's just not. Why would you even treat him like that? This is not okay.
They're so angry.
Yes.
They're so angry. You encounter that when you're out there and you're talking. It just, oh my God, you're Trump, you're Republican, oh.
And so that's why I say the Democrat Party has changed. That is no longer the Democrat Party. It has turned into this progressive leftist thing. And we know that our conservative Democrats, we don't ask you to register Republican. We ask you to vote Republican to save our state.
Like I always say, hey, register independent. You can still vote Republican.
Not me. I'm throwing the Democrats under the bus right now.
Yeah,
I want
Republicans.
If you're a Democrat and you don't want to be a Democrat anymore, you can register independent and still vote Republican.
Right.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, we talk about that.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. So you mentioned a name earlier.
Who's that?
Scott Pressler.
Okay, yeah, Scott.
He
Pressler.
might be in New Mexico soon.
Right. He's supposed to be here in November. Yeah, this month.
December.
Oh, December now.
December.
It was initially November.
Yeah.
Now
Well, it was because our grand opening for our headquarters, our state headquarters, has had to move our date back many, many times.
Okay.
So for construction and permits and inspections, more that local control.
I was going to say.
Sounds like, I hear you.
Interesting. So much local control there.
That's right. More of that local control.
Well, Bernalillo's, that's the hub. That's the place that you're having the big issues over there too, right? I mean, it's hard to get people to come together in such a polarized community, right?
It is crazy. Why?
Well, look, I'll just say it. They just got bombed. For those who don't know,
about this,
Albuquerque got bombed. Republican headquarters in Albuquerque was literally like pretty much bombed, and so it's like that's what she's talking about for those who aren't aware. So they had to they're having to reopen, get new permits, and do all this stuff, and they just because look, if it's our bellwether county. If we can get control of Albuquerque, of Bernalillo, then we can change the whole state. So there's a lot of opposition there from a lot of different angles too. From what I'm saying, I've been arguing with Republicans all week about which Republican to vote for, or no, so that Republicans can vote for a conservative Democrat. That's what I've been arguing. And then the next one is like, well, we vote for this Republican who has zero chance of winning, but vote for him anyway. And I'm like, where is the logic here, people? Where is the logic?
Well, I've never voted for a Democrat in all of my life.
No way.
Never have. And I actually had a friend running, I think it was for magistrate judge, who was a Democrat. And he came to me and he said, I really need your support. And I said, change your party.
There you go.
I mean, I've never, and I'm never going to.
I like the way you think.
I will just skip.
Yeah, I love
will
that.
skip it. I mean, if we want to make things better, we have to make things better.
Now, Amy, keeping on the Bernalillo thing. So Rio Rancho is pretty conservative. That's a pretty conservative place.
I'd say really conservative, yeah.
And they keep growing because it's a nicer place to live than Albuquerque. So doesn't that up our chances a little bit more to turn that
Well, let me tell you the difference. So when you drive from from Albuquerque to Rio Rancho, you can literally see their boundary lines by the cleanliness of the streets, by no tents on the corners, literally you can tell the difference in the management. So if that alone, a Republican mayor versus a Democrat mayor, period, that's the difference.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
You have a Republican county commission, a Republican city commission in Rio Rancho, and not in Albuquerque. That tells you who are we serving? Okay.
And Rio Rancho does not have ranked choice voting either, right?
Doesn't have ranked choice? No, they do not. They do not have ranked choice voting. But so who are we serving? And so I am all for legal immigration. Absolutely, 100%.
Yes,
Who's not?
Absolutely.
Illegal immigration, I am not for. It's for one, you're committing a crime by coming over here in the first place. I want them to come over illegally, so they need to go back voluntarily. They're paid to go back by President Trump, to go back voluntarily and then come back across. But while they're here illegally, they're the ones using our SNAP benefits, our hospitals, all of our resources, and they actually get more than our veterans.
Yeah, they get way more.
More than our seniors, more than our veterans. How is that right?
Home loans.
It's not.
Yes. How is that right? So why don't we put Americans first? Why don't we put New Mexicans first?
Did you just say America first?
America first. America first. And and I said that a couple weeks ago when there were some certain rallies and my email blew up and my voicemail blew up and you guys aren't very nice, but
Because you said America first?
because I said America first.
Wow. Republicans or Democrats?
Oh, it was definitely the people involved in the rally, the No Kings rally specifically.
Oh,
The
yeah.
No Kings people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scared me.
They didn't like my comment.
Well, good. They're not. Those are hard people to appease.
How dare you be a patriot? What's
I
wrong with
know
you?
it. I know it.
I think the main thing is that we're getting control back of our cities. Chairwoman here is a huge exemplification of that. When they got control back of Alamogordo and that whole area. It's a beautiful area, and I see us in the near future getting to that point here in Las Cruces. The momentum is sick. I mean, it's just like we get so much support for this show. I get people still stop me, I don't only have that big of a following. I really don't think I have that big of a following, but people still randomly hit me up in public and thank me for things that I post and things that I do. And so I just think it's just a ticking time bomb. That's going to just blow up here.
Well, it's so needed and a good opportunity to say thank you to our chipsters out there that do support
Yes,
us,
thank
that
you,
share
guys.
the show, and we have great guests like Chairwoman Amy Barela. And we can't thank you enough. And you got to keep spreading it because down here we don't really have a talk radio system or a local. It's hard to get good political news. So that's why we do the show.
And that's why a show like yours is important.
Right.
And that's why I say this is just another faucet that we have in bringing everything for the party.
That's right.
So it's not a competition. I'm on radio shows, gosh, once a week, twice a week or whatever. I'm not competing to be on radio shows.
You're very
for yours
accessible.
or whatever. I want to give the platform to every conservative because we're all fighting together. It's
Right.
this cutting out this mentality of this is my county, it's my way. I have that across the state, and I'm like, why can't we work with them? Even trying to bridge in some counties the FRW and the party. Oh no,
We
the
should
FRW.
be. We both have
Why?
Republican on there.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm just like, just if you don't want to meet at headquarters and meet at the Pizza Hut and just talk about it, I don't care. But let's figure it out. Let's get it.
Well, what I want to do, I've always wanted to do, is just throw a big ass Republican party eventually one of these days down here in Doñana. So maybe we can work together with State Party to get that done one of these days.
Oh, there's something coming.
Okay, good.
But so the pre-primary convention is other than our grand opening, the pre-primary conventions are coming up,
That's right.
and I encourage the everyday listener, the everyday person, to try and become a delegate to go to the state convention.
Wow.
So that means
It's a big deal.
that you are paying attention to your local party first and foremost. Find out when their convention is going to be, and go. Be a part of that initial process for the June ballot, because people don't understand that that determines who is going to be on the ballot to represent Republicans. That determines the order of how they're going to be on the ballot. Yes.
I did not know that about the order.
Yes. So, and I say the everyday person, because normally we just advertise in every county, here's a convention, and we're just, hey, I need you to be a delegate. Hey, I need you to be a delegate. No, I want this to be a New Mexican convention where Republicans show up that have never been to maybe a county meeting, that have never been to a pre-primary convention, whatever. Come, learn the process so you know what the Republican Party is all about, and support the best candidate that we can put forward to beat Deb Haaland next year.
Yeah, baby.
God, she's so bad. She's so
She
bad.
is. And that's my whole grassroots thing all over again. Let's not pick and choose out of these counties. Let's
It's just difficult to do what you do. I mean, and I get it. I'm one of those guys I'm an action kind of a guy. So sometimes I come down on the chairwoman and I'm like, why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing that? But as I'm getting more wise and I'm getting more involved, I understand that this stuff takes a lot of time, guys. There is a lot of things going on. It's not as easy as you think. That's all I can say. And so I really commend you for sticking your neck out there and doing the right thing and then proving it with results. It's one thing to say, and you actually got results behind what you're doing. So I may not agree with some of your methodologies, but the proof's in your pudding, and I can't be any more grateful for that.
And it wouldn't be right for me not to be able to have that conversation of what you don't agree with, because I represent all the Republicans. Doesn't mean that I'm Amy and I'm right.
Right.
It means my Republicans need to tell me the direction that they want their Republican Party to go. And I listen. I might not like it, but I listen and then I change my direction. I do. If the SEC says, well, I'll use our Farmington meeting, for example, that everybody that spoke against the rules that I initially presented.
You got a lot of flack for that. People hit me up about that.
The rules, well, I'm trying to better the party, make it more powerful, more reputable, efficient, everything about it. Okay? But everything that they said in opposition, I rewrote and made sure that when those people in Hobbs proposed it, what they said in Farmington was introduced in Hobbs.
They saw it too.
Not because I introduced it, but because that's what they wanted. And I thought, okay, well, this will unify everybody, and then we will have this. I mean, it didn't happen. It happened more so in Hobbs. We did actually pass something, but it was just like a party line vote. We couldn't even fix grammar. That's how opposed they were. It could have been Trump. I could have been Trump on the stage. If I said the sky was blue, that is said, you're so stupid, Amy. It's not blue. I mean, but
no, I get it. I get it. It's very difficult. And then you're dealing with, here's the thing, guys, is if you're going to be getting involved in the Republican Party, you got to be willing to do some work. Like if you're going to be a delegate, you got to have some money to travel a little bit. You're going to be doing some traveling. You're going to be doing some work, and you're going to have to pay attention. And feel lazy. Think about our founding fathers and all the stuff that they had to do. Those guys were farming, they were hunting, right. They were having kids, they were doing all that, and they were going to war, and they still were able to go and do all this.
Hey, you want to ride your horse to the pre-primary convention?
I'm down. If I knew how to ride a horse, I know I look like I know I can ride a horse, but I can't.
It'll be a new event. Yeah.
Right? On the wagon. Can you imagine the bumpy ride all the way there?
I'll show up with my bow and arrow.
Yeah, so no, it's okay for us to get in our air-conditioned car and go to the pre-primary convention, right? And I'm changing that up. Man. I'm changing that up too.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
What do you mean?
So, Friday, have you ever been to a primary?
Yes,
you have.
Yes.
Okay, so the Friday night is kind of a meet and greet of the candidates and all that. We're going to have a statesman dinner instead. And I mean upper level statesman dinner that a Republican platform, a big speaker coming in, and then Saturday we'll obviously have, I'm trying to get church service first thing Saturday morning, and then we'll have our state central meeting, which will determine the rules of the convention, and then we'll close for that, have our convention, all the candidates speak, do their thing, lunch, I don't know what that looks like yet, but and then vote. And this will determine the role of the ballots.
And it's a lot of fun, guys. Usually like 90% of the time. So you have hiccups. It's like anything in life. There's always a hiccup. But 90% of the time I got involved with these stuff, I have a blast. You're hanging out with like-minded folks. You're getting some really stuff done. You're getting guest speakers, getting good food. It's a good time. And it needs to be done. We need more people who are smart. Thomas Jefferson was really big on like smart people getting involved with the government. Because like even back then they dealt with highly educated Faneuil people. They weren't necessarily like taking control of their lives or they weren't all that self-sufficient. They were just like blue blood, people. And he said even back then that those are not the people you want in government. You want people who have control of their own lives, entrepreneurs who are smart, who can get involved with local government. And even Benjamin Franklin said, if you don't have that, you're going to lose this republic. You're going to lose it because you need to be engaged. You need to be smart. And that's it. She exemplifies that exact embodiment of what the founding fathers wanted. So that's why I always give her so much respect and credit. And I'm telling you guys this so you guys can get involved. Because we need more help. Alice is involved, I'm involved, she's involved, and we're sitting here telling you we need more help.
Yes, absolutely more help. Become as simple as a voter registration agent.
Right?
Just that simple. Okay,
That's so hard.
And do you know the Republican Party pays voter registration agents for every 20 successful confirmed new Republicans?
No way.
You get a $200 check.
Get out of here.
That's a pretty good deal.
When did that start?
That's July 3rd. That's when we started
that should be like...
See, we didn't
have
know
blasted
that.
it.
Did we know that?
That'd be crazy to get some illegal immigrants out there. I'm just kidding.
No. That's why I said. That's why I said confirmed.
Confirmed, yeah. But that's a cool incentive, though.
It is. So you
Yeah.
know what we have is we have youth out there registering in the colleges right now, and then we have our elderly. They know senior citizens. They're out there registering.
$10 a head.
So that's not only helping recruit the Republican Party, but it's helping put some money in their pockets too.
Wow, that is fantastic. This has been a very, very informative talk with you here. And we're coming up short on our
Well, I
time.
got one more. I got something
Let's
else
keep
good.
it rolling. We got plenty of time.
More grassroots. Okay, I'm fixing to launch another program. So, next year, all of these meet and greets are going to take place, and you have to have a $500 check to walk in the door, right?
Yeah.
For the gubernatorial, the U.S. Senate position, and all that. Well, how many people does that exclude?
Oh, a lot.
Okay, so I'm starting a new program called Gather, Grow, Go Red. Okay, and we're going to have a list of speakers, and you can click on those speakers, which are going to include candidates, and you can host in your home or your picnic neighborhood, your park, or whatever, and you can invite that speaker down, me, any of the state party, any of the declared candidates or whatever, to come to speak in front of your group at no charge. The Republican Party is going to give you a yard sign so people know what you're doing. We're going to give you the invitations. We're going to give you the napkins. We're going to, pins, whatever we can think of that we can make your little party more fun. Don't care if all you did is bottle of water or hot dogs. This is about grassroots, bringing the candidates into your neighborhood per your request and giving you that opportunity that that happen at the fundraisers.
That is a great idea.
Wow.
I used to do little meet and greets in Phoenix and stuff because of our neighborhood. But this gives you so many tools. Takes away a lot of the work. So that's fantastic. Kudos to
So
you.
it's happening. It's happening. And I try to shoot it to everybody straight. So I've worked on like back end bureaucratic stuff my whole life. I've been involved with government, and man, it's hard, guys. There's a lot of stuff that's going on behind the scenes that nobody talks about. And I'm not gonna really talk about it much here, but all I gotta say is that we need smart people to get involved, because getting programs like that going, that probably took you a lot of work to get that going.
No, it's actually funny. So I met with somebody that's an FRW president that just got back from the national convention. And she was talking, she was so excited. It was like 2 days she was back in town, and she was so excited about the speakers and all that. And she pulled up this little pamphlet, and she says, and they had this book. And I can't remember the book is Cocktails and Parties or something like that. And I'm, those that know me, I'm a book hoarder. So I immediately just ordered the book, and I read the book about 3/4 through. And I said, I'm going to do this. We're going to make grassroots from that book. Not a political book, nothing. This was just how to have a cocktail party.
Bringing people together.
And so then after I kind of wrote the program, then I got to think, okay, now I got to name it. What am I going to name it?
Something catchy.
So
something catchy.
Gather, Grow, Go Red. That's where it came from.
Gather, grow, go red.
Yes.
Awesome.
But you're a business owner. I'm a business owner, guys. And it's like, if you haven't run a business or anything like that, try to run a company with 5 people, with 10 people. Getting anything done with 10 people is super hard. Like run a grocery store. I've had a lot of people under my belt. It's so hard. So for her to go through all the red tape she has to go through and implement this cool new program, that speaks to your leadership right there. That's very difficult. I have a lot of respect for that. When is that starting? When are we going to start seeing that?
So I had just approved on the way here, actually on my phone, I just approved the logo.
Ah, okay.
So tonight, I told you that I have to get home. So
right.
Tonight is my first Monday night training where I train all of the county officers and all that. We're going to talk about it tonight so that we can get it launched. I'm still waiting on our website person to put it so that we have all of our confirmed speakers. So if Zeke wants to host a home party, he can click on the speaker that he wants and communicate directly with them. It's not through RPNM. It's directly with the candidate.
You're basically like a hub. You're like a hub kind
Yes.
of thing. Yeah.
And then once you confirm time and location or whatever, then we're going to send you all kinds of goodies to make sure your party's successful.
That's awesome. And that's kind of because I reached out to you recently about something similar to that. That's basically what I was trying to get at. Something like that. Because that's what the Texas and Florida do. There's a lot of other hierarchical stuff we were talking about, but beyond all that, jargon, it's basically how do we get the grassroots involved more? And that's a perfect solution.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving us a scoop, man. You heard it here first.
You
right?
heard it
On
here
the Chichen
first.
Salsa Show, New Mexico.
I haven't even told my county chairs yet.
Well, I love this show. I'm going to pump this show because I had a big debate with some key influencers here in Las Cruces about ranked choice voting. And I'm telling them, look, you want to vote for the Republican #1 and you want to be done. Because I got that from a top level nationally recognized strategist who knew that.
Yep.
And so that's what we were doing. That's what we've been saying. But I got a lot of pushback from moderate Republicans and moderate Dems. No, you want to rank. You're really going to hurt everyone if you don't rank. No. We know, and 'cause my guy got it from Alaska as well.
Don't give him my number. Don't give him a number.
Don't give him a number.
Yeah, don't give him a number.
Yeah,
Why?
so that in of itself.
Why do you want to
so
give them
powerful.
a vote? You wouldn't do that anyway. You would never vote for them anyway.
Right, that's right.
It makes sense to me.
You're basically sponsoring their campaign. I mean,
Yeah.
You're helping them. We don't want to
Yes.
help them.
oh my God,
Yeah.
that's so powerful.
So-
So yeah, you're just full of a bunch of golden nuggets today.
We
All
are down
right.
to the last minute because I know she has to get out of here.
We are.
I went fast.
We did go fast.
That
And
means it was a good show.
it was a good show. This is a really good show to jump in. If you guys want to get involved, hear about what she's up to, who she is. I think we'll have you back on sometime next year, early next year.
Whenever you need me.
And, I think I really want to hone in on your story, because you have a really cool story. I know you briefly touched on it here, but, just for people can really get to see how folksy you guys are. You and JP are some of the coolest people I've ever met. When I ran for lieutenant governor a couple years ago, they were so supportive and so cool, and they helped me so much. And they taught me so much, and I was able to take that knowledge and how they, treated me and imbue that onto the community here. And it was just so contagious. This stuff is so contagious. When I'm walking doors, there's one hard Republican guy. Inevitably, there's always 2 or 3 right next to him. So courage is contagious. Being a Republican is contagious. She's just a ball of Republican fire, just like Alice is. So yeah, we're happy to have you on. We'll have you back on again here as soon as we can. And thank you so much for all that you're doing. Alice, you got anything else for Mrs. Chairwoman?
Just ditto for everything you said. We really appreciate it. We need strong leadership like this. So please, whatever you can do to support Amy. If you have ideas, contact her directly as well. And thank you for coming on the show today. I know you'll be back, and we'll see you in political land for sure, because we always do.
Thank you, and make sure everybody's delegates. Your pre-primary convention will be the first or second week in January here in Donana County.
Primary convention. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff gets so technical. Like, we have to basically have you on again so we can kind of maybe explain how that stuff kind of works. But
Yeah.
here-
Anytime you're in town, holler at us.
Yes, can do
yeah,
that.
I would love to have you on. It's good to see you.
Good
It's
to see you too. Thank you for having me.
Always running into her. We always end with a prayer. Let's end with a quick prayer.
Yes.
Lord, thank you so much for blessing us with this studio and the opportunity to spread the word of conservative values, which are your values, God. And I just pray that you protect Chairwoman Barela and her hardcore journey to turn New Mexico red. And I please pray that you give her all the tools and the strength and the energy and the wisdom to continue her message, to continue to grow this state in a conservative way for you, Lord. And again, just grateful for all of the opportunities and all the blessings that you've given us, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray.
Amen. Thank you for
Amen.
that.
Absolutely.
job.
Well, thank you again. I can't thank you enough. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yep.
And you guys have yourselves a Merry Thanksgiving and Christmas. We'll see you soon.
That was good. That was fast. I'm going to tell you a story.